know that one of the most successful naval operations in modern history was conducted by the Indian Navy during the Indo-Pak War of 1971? In just a few hours, they managed to cripple Pakistan and set a new standard in naval warfare. But how did a relatively young navy pull off such a daring mission? Stay tuned as we dive into the incredible story of Operation Trident, a military operation that stunned the world and left an indelible mark on history. The year was 1971. Tensions between India and Pakistan had reached a boiling point due to the ongoing conflict in East Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh. The atrocities committed by the Pakistani military against the Bengali population led to millions of refugees pouring into India, pushing the Indian government to the brink. As diplomatic efforts failed and war became inevitable, India was determined to strike a decisive blow early in the conflict. At that time, Karachi was the nerve center of Pakistan's maritime activities. It housed the country's primary naval base, shipyards, and the bulk of Pakistan's oil reserves. Karachi's strategic importance was undeniable. Crippling it would deal a severe blow to Pakistan's ability to wage war, particularly by cutting off its fuel supplies, which were critical for both military and public. The Indian Navy, still growing in strength, was keen on proving its mettle. It was clear that if they could strike Karachi, it would not only weaken Pakistan's military capabilities, but also have a profound psychological impact on the enemy. Thus, the bold, risky, and meticulously planned Operation Trident was born. The Indian Navy's Western Naval Command, led by Vice Admiral S.N. Kohli, recognized the need for a swift and powerful strike, without exposing India's own fleet to excessive risk. The operation was scheduled to be executed on the night of December 4th, 1971, taking advantage of the cover of darkness to maximize the element of surprise. The key to the operation's success lay in India's newly acquired Oza-class missile, which were not only small, but also fast, and armed with the powerful anti-ship missiles. These missiles had a range of about 40 nautical miles and carried a 500-kilogram high-explosive warhead capable of inflicting devastating damage on any ship they hit. The Indian Navy decided to send 3 Vidyut-class missile boats, INS Nipat, INS Nurgat and INS Veer, on this high-risk mission. These boats were to be escorted by 2 Petya-class anti-submarine corvettes, INS Kiltan and INS Catchall, which would provide additional support and protection against any potential underwater threats. The plan was to approach Karachi at high speed, fire the missiles at predetermined targets, and then retreat before the Pakistani Navy could mount a counterattack. What made this operation even more daring was the fact that the missile boats had a limited operational range. To address this, the Indian Navy had positioned a fuel tanker, ENS Poshak, at a rendezvous point in the Arabian Sea. The success of the mission depended on flawless execution and precise timing. As the Indian fleet approached Karachi under the cover of darkness, tension filled the air. The boats maintained radio silence to avoid detection, and the crews prepared for the moment of truth. At around 10 p.m., INS Nurgat detected a large radar contact, a Pakistani Navy destroyer, PNS Khyber. Without hesitation, Nurgat fired its first Styx missile. The missile streaked across the water, hitting Khyber with deadly precision. The explosion was massive, tearing through the ship's hull and causing it to sink within minutes. The Indian Navy had drawn first blood, but they were far from done. As the chaos unfolded, INS Nipat turned its attention to a second target, the Pakistani oil storage tanks at the Kiamari oil terminal in Karachi. These tanks were a crucial part of Pakistan's war effort, storing vast quantities of fuel necessary for both military and civilian use. Nipat fired its missile, and moments later a fireball erupted on the horizon. The oil tanks had been hit, and the resulting inferno could be seen from miles away, illuminating the night sky and dealing a severe blow to Pakistan's fuel reserves. In the meantime, INS Veer had spotted another target, the Pakistani naval frigate PNS Shah Jahan. Veer launched a missile, which struck the frigate with devastating effect, rendering it inoperable. Not content with the damage already inflicted, the Indian fleet targeted the merchant vessel MMV Venus Challenger, which was carrying ammunition supplies. Another missile was launched, and the ship was destroyed, further crippling Pakistan's war logistics. As the Indian fleet withdrew, the city of Karachi was left in flames. The damage was extensive, with several key installations destroyed, and the Pakistani Navy left reeling. The entire operation had taken just a few hours, yet it had achieved all its objectives with remarkable precision. The impact of Operation Trident was profound. By the time the Indian Navy returned to base, they had not only sunk 3 Pakistani vessels, but had also caused significant damage to Karachi's port facilities, oil storage, and naval infrastructure. The operation had crippled Pakistan's ability to project naval power and disrupted its supply chains, severely weakening its war effort. Karachi, the country's economic and military hub, had been struck deep within its own territory, and the Pakistani Navy's failure to defend its waters was a significant blow to national morale. In response, Pakistan's military leaders were forced to divert resources to defend their coastline, which further strained their already limited capabilities. For India, Operation Trident was a resounding success and a source of national pride. It demonstrated the Indian Navy's growing capabilities and established it as a formidable force in the region. The operation was so successful that just days later, the Indian Navy launched another attack on Karachi, known as Operation Python. Operation Trident has since been celebrated as one of the most successful naval operations in modern history. December 4th is now commemorated as Navy Day in India, honoring the bravery and skill of the Indian Navy during this daring operation. It serves as a reminder of what can be achieved with careful planning, bold action, and unwavering determination.